Chris Bennett with Paul DeFelice from the Holy Smoke Culture Shop. You know, as everybody knows who's been watching the show, we're talking about a lost comrade in arms and a long-time thing, you know. And Paul is here in BC. I think Paul and I were kind of like the original hemp activists, and so we both met Ian when he first came on the scene, I think in probably like 91, 92. You got some memories and words to share about Ian, Paul.
Yes, Chris. Hi. Yeah, it's a sad day. I do remember Ian real well. To follow up some of what Dustin said, he was definitely a person who took everything to the next level. Even when you didn't know there was a next level, Ian could visualize it and, you know, help you get there. And he was definitely an inspiration early on. I think he was the first activist I met after I met you. I for sure had met him at the HempFest '94, I think it was. And then he started visiting here and got to know him better. And when he finally moved here, I really got to know him well and really got to appreciate what a, you know, mind-blowing, psychedelic, spiritual kind of guy he was. He really lived life to the fullest.
Yeah. You know, like I'm thinking even just here on the 300 block over at Victory Square there, Ian, like over a decade ago, placed a time capsule in there with a joint of marijuana, which he said, you know, when it would be opened 50 or 100 years later, I can't remember how long it's hidden for, would be able to be smoked legally, you know, and he's hoping for a saner time, I guess, with his positive attitude. And yeah, I remember Ian on the 300 block, even before Hemp BC came along, like David said. And when Mark did open Hemp BC, Ian was Mark's first employee.
Yeah.
You know, and me and Ian, you know, we did some early rallies together, and we tripped a lot together. I did a lot of psychedelics with Ian out on the west coast of Vancouver Island. You know, just me and him, and full moon and miles of stretches of sandy beach in the Pacific Ocean.
I've heard little renditions of those crazy trips you guys took.
You know, and for both of us it was a pivotal point in our alchemy. You know, we were hard at work in the laboratory and of the self and coming to things, you know, and you know, like I'm glad that Ian was at such a high point out there too in Nelson. You know, he was a little bummed out. I think he opened the Sacred Herb in Victoria too. He decided to do that one time when we were tripping on mushrooms. You know, he had the scheme, and he went down there and grew pot in the window and ran for mayor and came in third for mayor and just totally challenged the whole pot thing in the courts. You know, and I think he was a little, you know, bummed out when he first lost the Sacred Herb and signed it over to his employees after kind of giving up the battle. But he was doing so well out there in Nelson, living in that 3-story mansion with a jacuzzi right on the water there and having his chakra parties and stuff.
Yeah, I think he was making it like Millbrook North. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and he had a couple of girlfriends and stuff. So he was at a real high point, you know, and they say only the good die young. And in our brother and Reverend Ian Hunter, he's a reverend in the Church of the Universe as well.
Yeah.
He can really say that with Ian.
Yeah, way too young. I guess his work must have been done because he was called off. But boy, he got some stuff going here. We're going to be hard pressed to keep up with. You know, they're just such amazing things, amazing ideas. His whole chakra party idea that, you know, he'd been working his way up the chakras and having a party for each chakra, which were like all-night dance parties. And I'm ashamed to say, well, I only made it to one. The last one, the third eye chakra.
Oh, nice.
I'm just so glad I made it for that now.
Well, you're already kind of been doing that chakra climb for years, Paul.
Yeah, and the store makes it so hard to get out to some of these things, but I'm sure glad I made it for that because it is. He had a really nice scene going on there.
Well, I'm hoping that out at Shambhala, which Ian played a pivotal role in, that the people take their time there to remember our brother Ian Hunter, warrior on the cause for marijuana and civil rights. And
well, that's it. He fought for all freedoms. He wasn't just limited to pot by any means, that's for sure. That's why he was so into the dance scene and some of the more, you know, the dance molecules that are out there. He was well versed and, you know, quite shamanic in his use of those things, and you know, he was so into harm reduction. Like you knew you were safe when you were around Ian. Although he could have practiced it a little more, I guess, when you
Yeah.
consider he was out in the boat alone.
Yeah, that's a sad thing, and something that we'll always regret that he did, but he was a great man and a great brother, and I'll remember him with love in my heart.
Oh, me too. He's so missed already. I just can't believe it. The storm that whipped up last night was some kind of indicator, I think.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot, Paul. Give my regards to everybody at Shambhala in memory of Ian Hunter, and we'll be posting this later on today. So.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chris.